sure I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn. It's just one day away from Dancing with the Devil, Leewood versus Maurizio Lara. How are we?
Very well. Crowd is building in here now, and looking forward to a big night tomorrow night. Tough fight for Leewood, thrilling fight, great card, massive night, and ready to go.
It's been a while now since Leeds, first show back in the UK. Glad to be back on home turf?
Absolutely, and glad to be back in a massive show. You know, this card was originally planned for Jan 28. Obviously, Better Be a Yard got announced. We had Madison Square Garden a couple of weeks ago, so this was the date we had in Nottingham, and can't wait to get started.
You've been around both all week now. How do you think they've both been looking throughout fight week?
Look, great. I mean, they're both tight at the weight. I think they always are. Maurizio Lara is always tight on fight week, and Leewood's a huge featherweight as well. So, both confident. You know, like I said, Leewood picked Maurizio Lara. Him and Ben Davison see something in this fight where they believe they're the favourite going in. The bookies don't agree, but there are a lot of unanswered questions about Maurizio Lara, and it's going to be a thriller tomorrow night.
I know we're pushed to time, so we're going to go straight into it. But yesterday in the media scrum, you spoke about the TalkSport Robert Smith interview. You said you hadn't seen it yet. Have you seen it yet?
Now, yeah.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was better than I thought. I mean, Simon Jordan missed the opportunity. He flirted with the opportunity to really ask the real questions, but he nearly went there, and I think he sort of took a little step back because I think it would have looked too good for me. But you know, they're the questions that need to be asked. Why? You know, if you're going to give us criticism, where contractually we have to wait on the decision of the British Boxing Board of Control and the governing body to see if they're going to sanction the fight, we can't do anything until we get that decision. That decision took 5 or 6 weeks. So ask why. Oh yeah, we were waiting on stuff. We were waiting on stuff. You know, and Robert Smith's comments, Simon Jordan says, well, ultimately, what pushed you over to make the decision? Oh, I guess it was the second test. I mean, like, you know, it's very frustrating because I feel like, and I don't really care, but the blame comes on us rather than the governing body, who we had to rely on to make the decisions. Simon Jordan said quite correctly about the hierarchy of boxing. The hierarchy of boxing in this country is run by the British Boxing Board of Control. They are the commission, they are the governing body, they govern the sport. They make the decisions in terms of whether fights should be sanctioned or not. They are there for this exact reason. And this exact reason was put to them. They took 5 or 6 weeks, they divvied about, they wasted time. We didn't hear from them for 4 or 5 days at the end, and all of a sudden they decided not to sanction the fight. I don't think it was a wrong decision, but why not do it 5 weeks before, and we would never have this problem. We wouldn't have lost £1 million, and we wouldn't be in this mess. We're still talking about it now. This was back in September. So, you know, it's a big talking point, and it should be as well, but I just wish the media would ask the right questions, and Simon Jordan, you would expect to, but he nearly did.
I think at one point Simon said that he hasn't got a personal vendetta against you or something along them lines. Do you believe that's the case?
Yeah, look, I think when Simon, and I will go in and talk to Simon, and he'll understand. You know, he's a guy that understands regulatory bodies. He used to own a football club. So he's dealt with the FA, and ultimately they govern the sport in this country, as does the British Boxing Board of Control govern the sport in this country. So we rely on the British Boxing Board of Control to decide whether fights will be sanctioned. Ultimately, contractually, if a fight is going to be sanctioned, we can't pull the fight. So we had to wait for a decision from Robert Smith. They took their time, they went quiet, they went for information, and on Wednesday of fight week, well, one thing that I keep saying no one actually listens to, this fight wasn't cancelled because of a leak. The decision was made before the leak. And Robert Smith can say the leak didn't come from the British Boxing Board of Control. Well, the email was sent to me and Calla Sowland, and I think that's it.
Do you know where that leak comes from then?
Look, someone from the board has told someone, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Because the only other people that were on that email was me and Calla Sowland. And we didn't speak to the media. So, but that's kind of irrelevant. But what people have to understand is the fight wasn't cancelled because of the leak. Now, maybe the board knew there was a leak previously and were going to run that story anyway, so decided to make that decision. I have no idea. All I can tell you is, and I keep saying it time and time again, the board had the information about the tests exactly the same time as we do. Contractually, we have to get a decision from the board to decide whether this fight will be sanctioned or not. Unfortunately for us, it took 5 weeks to get that decision. And I'm not saying it was the wrong decision, but I wish they would have made it sooner.
Yesterday, Conor Benn reposted a reel of one of your interviews saying, "I'm coming back for some savage shit, period." Just comment on that.
Look, there's a lot of stuff that we're waiting to come out in this WBC thing. And the board, you know, listen, it's between Conor and the board, but it's heavy. And Conor Benn is fuming. And people are fuming at Conor Benn, so you can't really win. So he and his legal team are onto the WBC all the time saying, come on, make your decision.
Why do you think people are criticising the potential Manny Pacquiao fight?
Because there's been no decision about Conor Benn. You know, I mean...
But as an opponent?
I don't know. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's an 8th division world champion. He just boxed Ugas, a year and a half ago. Yeah, he's at the back end of his career. Conor Benn has never really boxed at elite world level. I think it's a good fight. Don't actually think it'll happen, but there has been talks.
Last one, because Wayne's about to start. Bob Arum's come out and said that the fight is definitely not happening between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury in Saudi Arabia, and it's looking like it definitely will be Wembley, 29th of April.
Yeah, I mean, if the fight's not happening in Saudi Arabia because Anthony Joshua's not in it.
Really?
Fight's not big enough. Fight's not big enough for the money that Tyson Fury wants because it doesn't involve Anthony Joshua.
So Anthony Joshua, the only face of heavyweight boxing in Saudi Arabia?
No. But maybe the only guy that can command that kind of money. So, you know, but hopefully we can make Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua, and then Tyson will get the numbers he wants.
And you believe that one will take place in Saudi?
Possibly. They'll definitely want to pay the money.
Eddie, thank you very much. Speak to IFL TV. I'll get to the weigh-in. Cheers, mate.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife and saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.